and welcome to the Away Day Experience Show yet again. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
Beautiful to have you in my company yet again, mate,
Always.
for another video.
Always beautiful, mate.
Always beautiful, and it's also beautiful to have your love as well. So if you like this video, please press the thumbs up, but they can also do something else, can't they, Tom?
Well, they might as well subscribe.
Yeah.
It just makes the most sense.
Just get going.
I press the bell, and then you don't have to worry about, wondering when our next video is. It'll just tell you.
So
you don't have to do anything.
It's not only if you're a Bournemouth fan, though. If you're a Fulham fan and you like EFL content, or just a fan of another EFL club, why not come on board and follow us this season? Because we are going to be playing again. Whoever you are, we're playing you again, and we're going to be talking about your team. So why not? Look, these videos, we try to leave our bias at the door, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's not about the football match itself, but we will be rating your away day or your home day, but of course it's an away day for us, and it's not about the football, is it?
No, I think we cover that in different shows, don't we? It's away day experience. We've got to take the bias out of the performance, things like that. We understand that certain things will impact an away day, but try and take away the performance on the pitch. Fortunately, a lot of the season has been pretty similar. We've been pretty good on the road, so it's made it quite balanced. But yeah, try not to kind of make it too much. It's difficult, isn't it? Because you always end of the way day feeling better if you've got the 3 points. But yeah, we always try and leave that at the door, like you said.
In previous shows, we've hinted that the team we're doing today could be right on up there. We don't know, but who's the team, Tom? Fulham. It's Fulham, Craven Cottage. Oh, you know what? And this match was made all the more spicier, wasn't it? Because the fact it was first v second. Hell of a game.
First v second, Scott Parker going back there. And I'm sure we'll get onto the fact that we noticed quite quickly that the Fulham fans are not too fond of the manager that got promoted. But yeah, it definitely had a bit of spice to it. I think it would have anyway because of the Parker factor. But the fact that first and second, and the result could change that as well. If we were to win, unfortunately we didn't, we would have leapfrogged them. So there was a lot on the game, and it was one that everyone was looking forward to really, and hence why Sky decided to whack it on as well. Exactly,
yeah. It was a Friday 7:45 kickoff. We were all wanting it to be Saturday. So does that affect our rating? Find out. Okay, so here's what we're going to be covering, right? As you can see below, we can talk about the pre-match experience, getting there, where to park. No, we didn't park. We got the train, didn't we? Also, how we got there, the different forms of transport we took. Very interesting. The stadium itself, it's a fusion of old versus new, as the new stand will be opening at some point soon, but with the classic cottage in the corner. Oh, I do love that. Concourse and facilities. Tell you what, an interesting talking point there. The food and drink, was it any good? The view from where we were sat, and also the home fan decibel level as well. So then, firstly, pre-match experience. Once again, as it's a London match, there's only one way to get there, right?
Yeah, only one way to get there. You got to get on the train, haven't you? And made it even more so the fact that it was, like I said, Friday night. So sorted that out pretty comfortably. wasn't too bad, but we had a few little thoughts on how to get over to the stadium itself, didn't we? So we ended up having a few forms of transport, but we started on the train and we got on a Branksome, like we've done before, just to get that table sorted, and that was pretty comfortable. And then a few more Bournemouth fans got on at Bournemouth station. So yeah, it was pretty comfortable, and I never mind getting the train. I think it's just a hassle beforehand to sort it out, but once you have, then you're on your way, aren't you?
You are. Look, and we managed to get cheap train tickets every time, right? So check the description below, because there's an app called TRAINPAL, and we're going to pop an invite code in the description. If you use that, you'll get some credit added to your account for free, but we also benefit as well. Just imagine that we might have enough to actually pay for our next away day. So make sure you use TRAINPAL and use the description below. There's a code in there where you can get some money off. And look, we find it's the best way to do it because it does group saves, also does split tickets automatically as well, and it works out to be, on this occasion, pretty good value. We got one form of transport there, by the way, and one form back. Talk to you about that shortly. But when we got there, it was all about just getting a quick bite to eat and then catching a boat.
Yeah.
Getting on a boat.
Why not?
We're on a boat.
Why not? I mean, it's a shame it won HMS Premier League on it. But we did get on a boat. I've never done it before, have you?
No.
Never done that before. I've always known that was a good option for Fulham, but I've just never done it. And so it was nice to mix it up. I like it when you do something different now and again. And yeah, it was quite, to be fair, it was very easy to do, wasn't it? Embankment, wasn't it? You get on and it was really smooth and easy, just contactless and all that. And you're straight on quite easily, know which boat you're getting on, all that stuff. Never done it before. And it was very easy to do and quite enjoyed it, to be fair. It was quite chilled in there. We probably didn't, maybe go on a bit earlier, or if loads of ball fans on, they could probably get quite rowdy in there. But I quite liked it for first experience. It was quite chilled. You could take your own beers on. They also had a few there, didn't they? And a bit of food and stuff like that, and plenty of room to wander about or just chill out. We had a nice table and that, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was very different, and yeah, definitely recommend doing it if you haven't already.
The issue with getting to London quite late, though, means that a lot of the pubs seemed to be filled up, and that was the case with the Temperance, that was the case with the 8 Bells. So we ended up having to go to the Rocket, which is a Wetherspoons, on the other side of the Thames from where we needed to be. So there, there was a little bit of kind of walking around to actually find where we could get in. But I suppose it's unsurprising. It's a Friday night. People are wanting to put the week behind them, have a few jars after work, and obviously it wasn't just us in there. Like loads of Londoners just wanting to drown their sorrows as the weekend approaches. And look, we couldn't get in. Which was a bit annoying, wasn't it?
It's just, yeah, it's frustrating that it feels like going, I've said this before, it feels like going to an away game in London. You have to be there about 6 hours before kick-off.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like we were late. We had hours to kill. And like you say, went all the way to 8 Bells and couldn't get in, and then went to Temperance, couldn't get in, and then went to go back on ourselves. And even when we went to the Rocket, it was hard to get a pint, wasn't it? I mean, it was rammed in there. So you just, yeah, surprising, because you think, we're not massive, we're little Bournemouth. But yeah, we had two pubs that were filled mostly of Bournemouth, I believe. So yeah, it does seem a bit odd they don't plan for that a little bit more. Maybe it'd be better kind of in the summer and stuff like that. Maybe they can open up a little bit more, and maybe COVID affects things like this with capacity. So I don't want to read too much into it, but frustrating. But like I say, we managed to have a few beers on the boat and on the train, and we did manage to get one in the Rocket at the end. So yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? It wasn't too much hassle.
No, it wasn't too bad. And then a bit of a sort of walk, 5-10 minutes to Craven Cottage, and so that's our pre-match experience. So if you're going to rate that out of 10, Tom, what's it going to be?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I think for us it was a bit unique, like I say, with the boat and stuff like that. So I want to go up because of the boat, but I want to go down because we couldn't get a pub. So I'm going to go 7.
7. I think that's
7.
fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I chatted to a few people about the vlog that we did, including Mike Botto. Nice to chat to him earlier last week, and he said it's one of the best vlogs we've done, and I think it's because we've got the variation of the different forms of transport. So he did really like that, and I think 7 is pretty fair itself. So 7 for pre-match experience. But don't worry, Fulham fans, you may be scoring higher a bit later on, you never know, or it could be lower. At the end of the video, we'll give you an overall tier list rating. Right, and another score out of 10 is due for the stadium, though, and it's a stadium that is bloody old, but I kind of like it. It's maintained, its architecture, it's classic. The kind of stand that's on the roadside has still got that same, facade that sort of matches the environment it's in. It doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. But what they're doing is they're fusing the old with the new. So you've got the Riverside stand that's going to be a monster when it's there. We were in the Putney stand, and opposite it's a fairly big stand as well. But it's a really unique stadium, and that cottage in the corner is just kind of really idyllic. It's a really lovely stadium to visit.
I really like it. Yeah, I really like Craven Cottage, always have done. Like you say, it's got that kind of traditional, kind of that character about it that I like in a ground. And then also they're now going, right, we're going to modernise a little bit with this new, and that's going to be brilliant. I can't wait for that to be all up and running. And yeah, I do really like the stadium. I do really like it. Been there a few times now, and I've always enjoyed it. There's something about Fulham, isn't there? I think most people would say that. Yeah, maybe it is that kind of, that character it's always had, and I think they've managed to keep that very well, so credit to them, and I do really like the stadium, mate.
Yeah, really good. Okay, so if you're going to rate it out of 10, what are you going to... I mean, I suppose it's hard to judge, because it would have been great if the new stand had opened, and that stand, by the way, they've had to actually kind of eat into the Thames a little bit in order to actually build that stand, because it is huge, and then they have a nice riverside walkway behind it that is going to be really good. But I mean, I suppose we can only judge it based on how we how it looked and how we think it could be once it's open. I mean, what do you think?
I think when that's up, that's going to be like tick all the boxes for an away stadium, in my opinion. For me personally, I think not quite there yet, so we'll have to judge on what we had. But I still love it, so I'm going to go for a solid 8 for the stadium.
8, absolutely. Tom's gone for an 8. Right then, Concourse and Facilities, and you know what? You've been to Fulham before, and you know that half of it is a neutral end, isn't it? Which is weird in itself, but you can kind of understand a club that can profit quite majorly from the tourists that want to watch Premier League football at the time, or second tier football. Now it's not that, because obviously the development of that stand by the Riverside means that home fans are in that section where neutral fans are going to be, and whether it's going to be that in future, I don't know. Apparently it's not going to happen in future whereby they have a neutral stand, but I was really surprised that in the concourse we were mixing with home fans. That I just I saw a girl walk past with a Fulham crest on her top. I was like, what is she? Is she like a member of staff or something just walking through? There's loads of them. Like, we're mixing with Fulham fans. That's really odd for us. Really odd.
It's really bizarre, and it's not something I like at all. I don't think the Fulham fans would particularly like it either. I can't imagine many people liking it, actually. It's just a bit odd, isn't it? I think, especially going on the road, you like to be in there with your lot, your group, and you're all singing and stuff like that. And I don't really, I mean, there wasn't any trouble, to be fair. Nothing like that, but it just doesn't feel right.
No.
You're away from home, and it's a mix. It's odd, and it makes it really crowded and horrible and hard to work out where you're going.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. You see the sides and you think, well, that queue's too big. Do I go in that one? It's all a little bit of a mess in there, but it's probably justified with what they're doing to the stadium at the moment, and they'll probably get to the bottom of that. But not something I like. The only time I did like that we were mixed was when I was down there and we scored straight after half time, and you can work out quite quickly who the Fulham fans are and who the Bournemouth fans were. So that was a laugh, but yeah, not for me. Didn't like it. Maybe it's just what they've got to do at this moment in time, but I hope they sort that out. We still want a neutral. No, I don't like it.
It's also an open concourse as well, so you've got the seats and kind of like you're underneath it, but it's kind of open air the other side. It's not enclosed, so you're not in a tunnel. It's you are sort of exposed to the elements. So I can imagine if the rain is sort of pointing in a particular direction, I'm sure you can get rained on a fair bit. They had screens outside. Toilets were relatively okay. Didn't have to be queuing much. So funny experience. I found it a funny experience when we scored, but because it's mixed, you're kind of working out which fans are chanting here, and thankfully it was ours. That was weird.
Yeah, I was lucky because, like you said, they had the TVs on.
Yeah.
So as soon as I heard the cheer, I looked at the screen. I was close to a screen, so I saw, well, there's no way they could break and score. And this time we're the ones that have just got the ball. So yeah, I knew it was us quite quickly, but. And yeah, there was, like you said, it's weird because it is kind of open, so you feel like you're outside if you stand to.
Yeah.
But I saw loads of people having a go at stewards because you can't smoke.
Yeah.
I never understand these rules. We actually have it at our ground where they let you outside and you can't smoke, which it just seems all a bit bizarre. I don't understand how you could be outside and not be allowed to have a fag. But yeah, it's a weird experience. Not one I'm too keen on, but it wasn't horrific. It didn't ruin it for me. But
score out of 10.
Because of that, I think I'm just going to go down a bit. I'm going to go with 5.
5 then for Concourse and Facilities. Right, food and drink. I must admit, it didn't have any food. It didn't have any drink. It was rammed down there. It was absolutely rammed. And I thought to myself, you know what? I don't even want to try. I think I probably could have got a drink if I needed to. Did you have anything?
Yeah, I managed to get down on 38, and I was debating having some food, but then there was just a separate queue for just San Miguel. And which is definitely a tick. So you don't normally get San Miguel in most grounds. So yeah, I was pleased with that. But then it meant that was literally just for San Miguel. So I thought I'll queue in this one. If there's still and then by the time I got one, the queues for the food were massive, and everyone coming down after me. The queues, they built up so much. Like you say, there's so many fans everywhere. It must be a bit of a nightmare. But like I say, San Miguel, very nice indeed. And I managed to nearly drink it all before we scored and it went everywhere. But well worth it. Yeah, it must be hard to get food and drink down there. It kind of goes on to that Concourse and Facilities thing about it being a little bit rammed and because there's 2 sets of supporters there. But yeah, like I say, they had quite a lot of options in terms of they had a separate San Miguel's down. They also have quite a lot of areas where you can get stuff. So yeah, can't argue with that too much.
On screen, we've got some more footage. Honestly, this guy, Rob Trent from Access Advisor, check it out because plenty of footage. And if you click the card, you can see what he thought about his visit to Fulham, make sure you have a look, because talks it all about the accessibility, and you can see his rating on that there. Right, so out of 10 then, if you're gonna rate food and drink, what are you going for?
I'll go for a 6, just over average, because San Miguel's better than Carlin.
Agreed. Right then, the view from the seat. Because it's depending on which stand you're in, sometimes you have a pillar in front of your face, and other times you weren't. But we were at a nice height, and I thought, the view from where we were slightly to the side. I mean, we were behind the goal, but we were just to the side. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah,
really good. Enjoyed it. Like I said, it would have been a nice end to see the goal if I was up there, but still managed to see theirs clearly, sadly. But yeah, you could see everything, couldn't you? It was a nice view, and yeah, I've been there a few times, sat in a few different areas behind that goal, and I've always found it quite nice. Actually, I've always never thought about it after. I think about a view is if you don't have to complain about it, it's probably all right. And yeah, it was quite easy to go up there and get your seat and stuff like that, and the view was nice. Yeah, can't complain, mate.
Out of 10,
got to go for a solid 7.
7. Lovely stuff.
Lovely.
7. Excellent. Right then, we are football fans, and we are very fickle, and we will tell you the things that we want to tell you. So, for instance, when we were berating Fulham fans in our vlog about having clackers, don't worry, the irony was not lost on us. Some of the Bournemouth fans have commented on this. The fact that a few seasons ago, we also had clackers.
Don't remember.
And it's, to me, right, we trialled it, and then we got rid of them pretty bloody quick after fans complained and said, and I think we were playing Crystal Palace at the time. We beat them 2-1. It was live on Sky. David Brooks scored that wonder goal, and their fans were singing at us saying, why have you got clackers? We use our hand. I can't remember what the chant was, but I found that the atmosphere was more clacks than songs from the Fulham fans, and with that in mind, the home fan decibel level didn't impress me much.
No, I agree. I genuinely don't know any kind of owners of football clubs. I don't know a single football fan for any club that likes them, clackers. No. Why do they think, fans are like this, put these out? No one likes them, but unfortunately, particularly kids, stuff like that, you have a clacker, you're going to start using it, aren't you? So, it does seem a weird one. I mean, if home fan loudness, we normally do this in the stadium. Are we doing this in the stadium? Because, they certainly gave it a bit before and after. Yeah. I knew there was no love lost with Scott Parker, but I couldn't believe before the game, the songs I was hearing, all anti-Parker songs, which is up to them. I don't know kind of the ins and outs of it. But I was surprised at how much the kind of hatred there for him. And I thought, God, this is going to be intense in there. He's going to get a lot of grief in the ground, and then nothing. I didn't hear anything in the ground. I didn't hear one kind of chant at Parker, did you? No. But before the game, you couldn't stop for hearing it. After the game, I'm going to sound bitter. You are top of the league. You did get a point. You probably did deserve to win the game. We were hanging on. But after the game, we were trying to do fan cams after the game. Yeah. They couldn't stop hearing. I thought they won something. They just drew at home to a depleted Bournemouth. It was strange how kind of chuffed they were after the game with a draw at home, because surely Fulham should be looking to win every home game. The side they are. I suppose the goal was quite late, which gets you a little bit more buzzing afterwards, doesn't it? But yeah, it was odd. Maybe it was the fact that we were taunting with the top of the league when we were leading. I get that. You got a bit of banter. But yeah, they certainly... they're definitely the loudest before and after a game. But inside the stadium, like you say, it was really poor. I thought we were pretty decent, and also hearing the advantage when it's on telly. You've obviously got friends and stuff that watch it on telly, and I've all asked them, and they said you couldn't really hear Fulham at all. I can't really remember them singing a chant apart from when they scored, singing their top of the league. Apart from that, for a little bit, didn't really hear anything. Was actually disappointed because I want it to be I want both fans to be going at it, and it was a weird one. It was weirdly quiet. I don't know whether when that new stand and stuff like that, whether they'll get it going a little bit. Fulham fans, let us know, because maybe they're all set. There's been a few times where we've noticed that we have it at ours sometimes, don't we? You've got like a section in the north stand that are loud, and then a section they're so far away you can't join in. And I wonder if they're scattered about a little bit too much. Not sure, but I was disappointed.
Should we talk about what happened when they opened those clackers, and then the little notices they had on those sheets of?
It was embarrassing.
What did they say? Like, what was? There's one that said "Come on, Fulham."
Yeah,
but then there was like
very inspiring.
Season's greetings or something. It's like, what? Seriously? And there were Fulham fans waving these placards. It's like, oh, come on, please. And a lot of anti-Parker sentiment, I've got to say. I wasn't overly impressed, but then you know what? a number of fans would probably say that about our lot as well at Dean Court. So, out of 10, what's it going to be?
Disappointed with Fulham, and I think I wonder if I'm disappointed because I normally think they're all right. So I wonder if that's to their credit why I'm disappointed. Do you know what I mean? Because I probably expected more, and as I say, because of what they were like before the game, I can't give them a high though, mate.
No.
I'm gonna go 4.
4 for home fan loudness. There you go. Right then, we've got a tier list on screen, and this is where clubs are at the moment. We've got Bristol City and Yes Lads. We've got a number of clubs in decent. We've got a couple of clubs in so-so. Millwall added there on the last video, and also Stoke City. This one was one of the clubs we thought originally might be in Yes Lads because it's London, because it's Fulham. I've got a feeling though, after some of the things we've talked about, our enthusiasm for this away day might have dwindled somewhat.
Yeah, I do. Also always try and counterpoint, always try and make the point that this was a Friday night game. Maybe if it would have been different on Saturday. We're just going off what we had, aren't we, on the game? Apart from, we don't take the performance into it. As you can see, Stoke's the lowest, and Stoke, we actually got a good win. So, yeah, we tried to, and I agree with you. I thought this would be right up there, but I'm not even thinking about the top tier. I really are. I was disappointed. I've had some good ones there. I was disappointed. I don't know. I'm trying to think kind of why. I'm trying to stick out my head. There's just a few little things we mentioned about the concourse that I just really don't like it. I don't like the neutral side of things. And as I say, there's nothing against Fulham. I'm sure they don't like it either. And I can't get my head around the fact that we got there hours and hours before kickoff and 2 pubs turned us away. And you just think, how early do you have to get there? If I'd known that, we would have got there earlier, but you just don't, and a few of us that were going, you have to get some work in before. Yeah. So I guess the Friday night didn't help this. I still enjoyed it. It's still not too far. We ended up getting a mega bus back, didn't we?
Oh my god!
Which actually wasn't as bad as I maybe anticipated.
Yeah.
We got back 2:30, something like that. Not too bad. It was all right. I'll definitely go to Fulham again. Hopefully in the Premier League with them. I still believe that. Game was a decent game, but we're trying not to put that into context. I think it's just fair to say, because I keep going like that it's got to go so-so. It's got to go in the middle. It's got to go in the middle for me.
Yeah, middle diddle, so, and Fulham fans are going to be like, what? Fulham fans? But you know what? Next season, if we're both in the Premier League, I'm sure once the Riverside stand is going to be open, and if it's a Saturday away day, which does make a difference, then I'm sure we'll be pumping it up. And look, best wishes, Fulham. Don't get too many wins between now and when we see you next at Dean Court. And you know what? If we got first and second with them in whatever order, don't really care. I think a point was all right in hindsight, and we would take it. And so hopefully they'll be all right with that as well, eh?
Yeah, I hope so, mate. They're a little bit better, but I think it's more towards Parker, like I say, and maybe we'd be the same if it was the other way around. But I still enjoyed it, and I agree. I'd be more than happy to go up as we are. To be honest, they can win the league if they want. We've done it before, haven't we?
We've done it before.
But no, I think we defend it for our lives, but they're definitely the best side. Player for player, they're a really good outfit. So I'm sure we'll both be in the same league next season, but it'll be a different one, mate. And you said about the Riverside, that's actually brings us on to what our next one's going to be, doesn't it?
It is. That's a great
That is a trek, mate.
We cannot wait for that. Look,
early kickoff.
Early kickoff as well.
Should we go up the night before?
Shall we?
Yes.
I think we have to. Fulham fans, do you agree? Do you disagree? What have we said that is correct, incorrect? Put our facts straight if we need to be having anything corrected. Let us know in the comments below if you think we've been harsh or generous with any scores. Put it in. And what we may do, no promises, halfway through the season, we might have a little show whereby we just recalibrate a little bit and just have a reflect on what we've done so far, and maybe just adjust a few teams on the away day experience show. So you never know, that might not be the end. There's a reason to subscribe, isn't it, Tom?
Definitely, mate. And yeah, I think it's fair to maybe have a little bit of a recap at some point, because it's hard to do them early ones because you've got enough to compare to that season. And now we're going, quite often I hear myself saying, well, compared to that, the decibel level, and you think, well, it's got to be fair, hasn't it? The earlier ones weren't getting any comparisons.
We put Birmingham in decent.
We put
why do we do that?
I'm not sure now. I mean, I'm looking at it now thinking, we might have to have a little bit of a recap, but also we got to keep that authenticity of how we felt, kind of the reaction. So we'll have a little think about that, won't we? But I'll be interested as well, Fulham fans, to let us know about that neutral thing. Do they like it? I can't imagine and is that something they're looking to change? I'll be interested, because I'm not sure. I would have thought they'd look to change that, but that'll be interesting anyway.
Make sure you subscribe then, and remember to hit that thumbs up. Until the next video, up the chairs.